Good morning. I I'm here. It is Tuesday morning. I decided that I really want to make sure that I have one a video this week because I don't think I'm putting a vlog up. And two, I'm accountable for what I want to do. And I took a break over the weekend from writing. I went on a retreat. It was very fulfilling. I did think about my novel. I plotted some things out more, but I didn't really write a lot. I think I wrote like maybe 100 words. So, yeah, so it kind of worked out that I'm going to stream today and make myself write. So, yeah, good morning. I don't know how long you've been waiting, but the fact that it's 4 a.m. and you're here, Puppet, I appreciate you so much. Good morning to you. And Zilla, hello, my friend. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's pink is not my favorite color. Like this is maybe a mauve but I do think it works well on me. It's just not my jam most of the time, but it is work appropriate. So we are going to go to work after this, unfortunately. So if you're joining now or in the future, let me know what you're working on today. I'm going to be completely honest. And I am currently, I gotta like fix my desk a little bit, I think, because I'm gonna use my walk pad and write. Um, I've never done this streaming before, but I figured while I'm like not chatting, I can use my walk pad and get some exercise as well because I am woefully behind on that. So we're gonna use the walk pad while we are gonna keep writing a new novel, my Mascom Ranchen novel. And to be honest, I'm kind of at a weird, I'm on chapter 7. I've written so far a little over 15,000 words. And I don't know where chapter 7's quite going at this point. Actually, I wrote quite a lot from yesterday. I did not realize I started chapter 7 yesterday. I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4. I wrote 4 pages. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna keep going with chapter 7. I think I need to get into the next game because after the game goes wrong, the first death's gonna happen, and we need to get to that quicker, I think. So I think this chapter right now I'm having like kind of them talking about the like what we think is in store for tomorrow's game and her like writing and taking notes because she's like kind of like an amateur journalist. She has a blog and she like wants to like take down all the rich people, so she's like taking notes and then like she kind of gets caught and they have like a conversation and she changes the conversation. Anyway, that's where I was at, but I feel like I'm done with that scene. So I need to move to the next scene. I think the only logical scene would be the next morning of them doing the next game, I guess, which I have to figure out what I'm doing now. I don't know. I'm rambling. So anyway, KJ, hello. Good morning. So Zilla, yes, sending voice memos. Yeah, it's our daily routine. I love some cleaning sprints. That's like my jam too when I'm not writing and walking. All right. So my goal today is to do maybe like 3 25-minute sprints. If I could do an hour and a half total, which means that we'll have like 5 minutes for talking, which means we have like 30 seconds to start our first sprint. So that's kind of my plan. I'll do 25 minutes. We'll check in, maybe talk for 5 minutes, go to the next 25. I do have work today. I have to be in for 10 a.m. So I need to end around the hour and a half mark to give myself some time to transition because I am rough with the transition sometimes. All right. With that said, I'm ready to go and put the first sprint up on here. And yeah, somebody in my last stream had commented after the fact about music. I'm gonna be pretty honest. I'm not putting music in because one, I don't pay for free use music, so I don't have any free use music to use. And also, I know for some people it's super distracting. Not everybody likes it. And I'm gonna walk today, so you're gonna hear my walk pad going off. So no music in case somebody is watching in the future, but I will consider that for future sprints still. Anyway, now that I'm gonna talk too much, let's get going, okay? So in 3, 2, 1, happy sprinting. Hello, we're back. Oh my goodness. So I think I figured out where I'm going. Let me take my Elton John glasses off because I do think it kind of looks ridiculous on camera. But they're my red light glass or my blue light glasses, so they work so well because I get such bad headaches. I really got to get one for my office again because I broke those and I'm getting such bad headaches. So I think that's why. But if you're just joining us, let us know what you're working on. I saw that JK came in. Welcome, my friend. I'm just working on my new horror novel. And I spent a couple minutes kind of brainstorming a little bit more. And I think I'm changing my outline slightly, but I think it's going to work out better. So that way, like, I think the games, initially, I wasn't sure how many games I wanted to have. And I was like, well, maybe I only need like 2. But I don't exactly think I'm going to do that anymore because I had like a couple like game show ideas that I wanted to play around with. And I kind of like some of them. So I was like, you know what, though? It would be interesting to see, like, so I had an idea of who my first death was going to be. I think we're done with that. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have so in the book, today's competition is kind of like a Simon Says game. But it's Slasher Says, and they're picking up knives. So they have to like remember the pattern, but they're picking up different types of knives. So like there's a butcher knife and a steak knife and a bread knife. Like, so they have to like pick these things up and remember the pattern. But I think what I'm going to have happen is that when one of the persons pick up the butcher knife at the end to like win, and they're like, yeah, it's going to fly off. And so it's going to be like the first onset accident where it's not going to hurt somebody, but it's not going to kill somebody, but it is going to like hit them in the arm. And so that's a big to do. And the producer gets involved and he's just like, whatever, clean this mess up. Like, we have the shot, we'll edit it, like, we'll move on. And people are like, should we do this? So I think that's what my chapter is going to be right now. And then I have an idea for my third game, which I really liked, which was kind of, I don't know if you guys have ever played, what is the Jack in the Box game, the Murder Floor, which is like a trivia game, but it's just Jack in the Box. You do trivia, but like you get like killed as you play the games. And there is one that like is called Chalices, and it's a game of guess where like you have to pick the chalice like in order to like try to survive that isn't poison, where like the rest of the contestants like put poison in. And I want to do that in this book where like they have to guess like which cup is poisoned, but the poison is supposed to be like this powder that when you drink or like whatever, when you drink it, it ends up staining your mouth. So if you pick the poison cup, it stains your mouth. But I think that's going to be my first death now, is that the actual cup is poisoned. And so that's going to lead to the massacre that's going to ensue. It's going to be the first death. So that's what I've just been spending time on, was trying to figure out how I want to make this first death scene. And I think I'm going to slow it down because I am going to tweak my beginning. So I only wrote 379 words. That was a long preamble to talk about my book. So anyway, how'd you guys do? Let's see. Eva, I decided to keep the kiddo home since we didn't want to walk the bus in the rain. Is that a good reason? You're the parent. I mean, as long as you're okay with it. I'm always that type of person that's like, as long as you're okay and your kid's still getting their education in some way, you do whatever you want. But I do love reading. That's how I start my mornings anymore too, and it's lovely. Cozy Fantasy. What a fun game. Thank you. I'm having so much fun doing my games, which is why I was like, oh, you know what? I do want to have at least one more game in here. So I'm going to do the chalices because even though the game component is not necessarily like why everyone dies, it's not going to be like a Hunger Games game. There is more reasons to why these deaths are occurring, which is a spoiler, and I won't share that one live, but I do think the games are kind of fun. And I think that's what's going to appeal to readers to come into this book. And then it's going to kind of get flipped on its head. So yeah, that's me. Okay. Let's see. Revising chapter 21. Yay. I can't wait for this book to come out. It's going to be so good. I've acquired lunch, but I did get some words down. Exciting, KJ. Also, what are we having for lunch? Let us know. Yes, that's exactly my kind of goal, is that I think they're going to come into the book thinking that these games are going to cause deaths, and my chalice game will, but then it's going to go off the rails because like I think so many people think like, oh, competition game for the death, like that's kind of done. So like they might think that like every game might eliminate somebody and that's the purpose, but it's not. So yeah, I'm hoping that people will kind of be a little bit misled and enjoy what will end up coming out. So all right. Well, I think we are on schedule still for our next 25-minute sprint. That's a great way to put it. The games are your red cape, the bull is your reader. Yes, like they're going to be charging forth, thinking they're going to get that cape. And then it's going to, then like, I don't know enough about like Matador speak to be like, what would be like my, like a second bull enters the ring and charges at that bull. Like, let's go with that. So, okay. Well, if you guys are cool, I am you were just enough to get the simile, right? Yes. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how this works. Like, does somebody come in with a lasso around the bull? Is that maybe that's the analogy? Like, we think the red cape and the bull is what we're thinking, and then the lasso comes in and wrangles it back, and like, oh no, you're coming this way. Actually, that works. On that note, let's get to another sprint. I'm gonna do another 25. This is gonna be the second of 3 today. I'm not promising any more after that because I do need to go to work. So let's go. Let's see what I want to do here. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna get my banner for our sprinting. 25 minutes on the clock. If you guys want to chit chat in the comments, feel free. Otherwise, we are gonna go back to business in 3, 2, 1. Happy sprinting. Okay, welcome back, friends. How do we do in that 25 minutes? I love walking on my walk pad, but if I need to think about things too much, sometimes it takes me so long to like get my brain to function. Um, it's a lot different when you're talking out loud to somebody walking versus like writing, but I got a few more words in. My main goal is usually to get like 1,000 words a day. I started at 51, or sorry, that's not accurate at all. 15,000 like 178, I think it was. I'm at 15,887. I can't tell you how many words I wrote because I added words in and changed some things during that split because I was like, okay, I'm going to do an elimination process. And so I tried to make a bracket to visualize this. But initially I was like, oh, this will be a double elimination bracket. But that doesn't work because then you have a lot of losers and that's not the point of the game. And so then I was like, wait a minute, I don't need it to be double elimination. What I need it to be is that the losers from each like game, the loser advances because ultimately we want somebody to be eliminated completely from the game. And so I figured out who I'm going to eliminate from this game and did like the bracket to kind of visualize like who is like who loses each game and how that can play into stuff. So that was a good portion of my time, but I feel set and I'm almost at my 1,000 words for the day. So I think that I should be able to get my words done for like the day in this sprint. And then on the DL, I always take my iPad just in case I get some free time during the place that shall not be named, if you catch my drift. Sometimes that works out well for me, sometimes it doesn't. So I might be able to get some more words later on, is what I'm saying. So let's see, everybody else in the comments. Eva, I know Zilla responded to you, but I stopped. So with trying to be an author, I do try to mostly keep my positive reviews on Goodreads or something like that anymore. I don't really do the negative reviews, even if I don't like. I think Zilla kind of said the same thing. Like I don't really publish them but like personally, I'm kind of the same mindset. Like a 1 would be a DNF, or like I hated this book, but somehow I made it through. And then I kind of go up from there, where I feel like 3 is like a pretty solid book. It might not have done anything new for me, but like most after a 3, like a 4 and up, 4, 5 are like pretty solid books. Would probably reread them again, would like really recommend them to people. So that's my similar system too. Think I'm going to add reviews to IG and TikTok. Storygraph too. I made add Goodreads. Yeah, I like the Storygraph concept. It's just not, it's unfamiliar to me, and so I don't use it, even though I do technically have one. Yeah, I also agree with that, but my shift has definitely been because I am trying to get traditionally published. And in theory, I read like a lot of people like books in my genre, and I also write a lot of genres. So like I feel like no book is safe for me, because if I give a really bad review anymore and I'm going to be publishing in that genre of that book, and then they could be my peers one day, which I hope they are, and they may need to blurb me, and blurbs are so important. And so like I went on this whole like mental journey on this. And even though I agree that I don't feel like authentic, I also am not going to like shy away from conversation. So like if you came up to me and you're like, oh, what do you honestly think about this book? I will tell you, but I'm not necessarily going to have it on my pages anymore to try to eliminate the possible tension. I actually kind of came up with this because I had previously, a couple years ago, I wrote a review on a book that I did not like. I did not finish it. I did not jive with it very much. But that author is also an agent, and it was an agent I wanted to query. And I was like, ooh, if they track my social media, because I am very open, like that could be a potential rough go, because I don't necessarily think their author life and their writing is the same thing that they would do as an agent. So that was where this debate came from for me, was this year. Actually, I was like, I got to stop doing this. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. It was good. Had lunch, edited bit chapter 5. Surprisingly, draft 1 is not as horrendous online level. Yay! But also, that sucks with the plot. Yeah, I'm a DNF queen at this point. There's too little of life to not enjoy books. Currently, I'm supposed to be reading Golden Sun, which is book 2 of Red Rising. Red Rising was like a 3 for me. It was very mid. I do not see the appeal. There were things that I felt like weren't answered and were super weird plot holes in book 1. And one of my friends who loves the series was like, well, you have to read book 2. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to read book 2. It should be in this book, like a big enough plot hole. Like it was not a, like, it was a plot hole. It wasn't something that like is a cliffhanger. That's what I want to say. So anyway, it's a 19-hour book and I'm supposed to read it by Sunday. And I read 2 chapters last night and I'm like, I think I'm going to DNF this. It's just not a good time. I'm not having it. She's a chosen victim. Maybe. That's really fair. I think approach differently as me. Yes. So you kind of just writers over readers. Yes, you can. I don't even remember what this is fun for now because I was ranting so much. This book sounds so fun. Thank you. I'm loving it. Yeah. And that's completely fair. I think everybody has their own feelings on what they want to do. And I landed at that point for me this year. So I have a reading journal where I review and track. Yeah. Yes. And that's exactly it. The burning bridges is what I'm potentially a fear for. Yeah. Again, I think everybody has different opinions on this and what they feel like is right. Like I said, I'm not necessarily going to personally say things. Like I have YouTube videos and I am still going to review them verbally in my book. And I've said recently, like there's been a lot of books that I just didn't enjoy, Red Rising being one of them, from one of the most like popular authors right now. But as far as Goodreads go, that's the main thing that I've kind of taken a step back from. Also because I just don't review books like I used to in general. Even my positive, I just put a 4-star on a book that I really enjoyed, but like I didn't write anything more about it because I don't know. I've kind of stepped away as a reviewer in general since I've been writing so much. Yeah, that's fair. And I guess it depends on what you're looking at too, because I do think a lot of authors in the space like are authors first and then readers. And so they're also like looking at what they're consuming is probably something in their brand too. Books and Lala actually said this. I don't know if you guys watch her, but like a while ago, she was saying that like she's gotten to the point where she understands her reading taste so much that like it's hard for her to naturally find books that are going to be lower reviews for her anymore, unless she's doing challenges and things that are kind of designed to have her tested and rate. And she kind of said, I think she did a tier ranking of like trying to find a book in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 reviews. And so naturally, without doing that video, she said, like, I probably wouldn't even read the books I would think that were 1 star, but I'm going to do them for this video. And that's kind of how I feel too, is like, unless I'm doing something like Red Rising is for book club and that was not my pick, or like I'm reading for December for my other book club, The Winter Goddess, never heard of this book before, there's a good chance that I won't like it because it's not something that I'd probably would gravitate towards otherwise. But it is like Celtic mythology and stuff like that, so maybe I will like it. Long story short, I pick up a lot of books that I think I am going to enjoy anymore, and I don't pick up the ones that I think are a waste of my time. So I do think naturally I will already sway into having more positive reviews than negative reviews, if that makes sense. Oh my God, that's so exciting. Yes, I got an arc of Katie's book. The tennis thing was not my cup of tea, but I think it was fun. It was well written. I think I would wait until she writes a book that's not about tennis, though, because I'm not a tennis girly. I had no idea what half this stuff meant during it. I loved Wallace's book, though. It was definitely up my alley. Once again, listen, I was going to start it today. I can prove it to you. There it is. It's downloaded. It's ready to go. I was going to start it on my way to work today. Yeah, that's a fair system too. But that too with indies. Yeah, sometimes that is rough. I think I'm thinking scorecard of bonus points to keep in mind. I don't review books I DNF. Yeah, and that's also fair too. Like people do review books that they DNF. So that could be another point of contention. There's a lot of people who do that or rate it 1 star, things like that. Absolutely. This whip and had 3 different ways the plot could have be, and you can tell. Oh, yeah. When I did an outline, and I think I did this for Vampire a little bit too. I started going in one direction with my book, and then I halfway through was like, I don't even like this. And so I just wrote the rest of the end, like the ending, as if that part didn't happen. And I'm like, I'm gonna edit this later. Like it's gonna be better. That's cool. Yeah, I kind of like when it's a puzzle. It does feel fun. Editing is the best part for me too. The revision blues. Now I'm impatient. Okay, so I have 2 chapters. All right, yeah. So now that I got through the comments, I am gonna end up being a little bit. I'm still gonna do 25 minutes, but I chatted a lot longer in that one. So I am going to jump right into the last sprint so that I'm still kind of on time. And I would really like to finish my 500 words in this sprint. So in 3, 2, wait, let me switch my banner. There we go. Final sprint in 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity. All right. Hello. Take my Ellen glasses off again. Man, that was a good sprint for me, I think. I did get over my 1,000 words. I'm at 16,394. Let me see if I could. Where did I? Okay, I think. Sorry, I'm just trying to see where I. Technically speaking, well, I did. I added 513 words, so that's awesome. Yeah, I'm at 16,394. So I added probably about 1,200 in this little morning stream, which is happy and I'm content with because I don't write anymore today. I feel very confident with that. I'm also excited because I think I have a little bit of my like the ending of this chapter already written because I had this scene in my head and I didn't even write a whole lot. It was like 3 paragraphs, but like I was like, oh, I'm gonna add this in because it was in my head and I wanted to get it done. So like I have the ending of the chapter already. I just need to fill in like the competition back and forth with everybody. I think I'm just going to um try to keep it very brief, like very cinematic. What is that? Montage like. Like I'm going to do a little montage of like them eliminating each other because I don't really need to go into depth with everybody. It's mostly my main character that I want to follow since we're in her head. So yeah, so my main character just won her competition. So she's safe. She survived again. And now we have the elimination bracket. So the loser is now waiting where I'm going into the next 2 people. And I'm kind of having them size up. And then after that, it's going to be a quick montage and then I could get to the ending. So I do think, should I have time and the energy to write at some point later, I think I could get this chapter done today, which is exciting. So that is where I'm at with my writing, guys. So yeah, let me know how you guys did in the comments and we'll be wrapping this up in a couple minutes. So thank you. Yeah, I feel pretty good about it, like, all things considered, especially because, like I said, sometimes on my walk pad, my brain doesn't it needs to, like, get moving, like, physically and mentally, so, like, I was like, "Oh, am I gonna actually get 1,000 words today?" But I got my exercise in, I got my words in, we're having a great time. And thank you guys. Yeah, I'm excited. Over the weekend when I went on my retreat, even though it was more of like a healing ancestral witchy retreat and it was not about writing, I didn't focus on the writing and like I said earlier in the stream, like I had the ability to kind of just like take a step out because I wasn't writing for 3 days about I was able to kind of like take a step back and really think about what I want to do in my edits because my beginning is super like descriptive. And so I kind of realized that this is a discovery draft. Even though I have an outline, it's a discovery draft in a lot of ways because I'm learning the layout of the mansion. I'm learning who the competition is. I'm learning the personalities of everybody in this draft. And so it's a larger cast. It's one of my most ambitious casts that I've done in a book. So I was like, yeah, I think this needs to happen. I think I need to discover it and then I can figure out how to condense it later and make it a little bit more actionable and like interesting for the readers. So I'm happy. I'm just happy writing this book. I'm having a great time. Okay, 152 words written, 428 for the day. Awesome. Just came back from spending time with the female main character, and he's come back to a long line of customers at his bakery. Ooh, is it because of the female main character? I mean, you don't have to answer it, but I'm very curious. I love that. I read another chapter, then got the kiddos some breakfast. He's already down at craft today and tried to steal my Kindle to read. That is so cute, though. I love that. Oh, and an angry side character. Also love that. I'm assuming that's for your novel. I also had an angry side character in mine. He punched the table and then got chastised because we do not have time to go replace the props for the show, guys. Sounds like, thank you. I feel like every book, I'm like, this is going to be the one, but like one day it is. Like I'm fully confident and delusional enough to feel like even if it's not the book that gets me the agent, it's going to be on shelves. It's a good concept. So yeah, I'm going to hold that delusional mindset in my brain and manifest it. All right, school wouldn't even be started yet and the sun is out. I feel bad keeping him home to avoid walking in the rain. Yeah, I mean, just let him have a little rest day, I think like again, there's nothing, I don't know. This is the therapist in me speaking, but like if he does well in school, there's like no truancy issues, there's no like harm in it. Like just let him have a good day and like maybe do some crafts or like books things that will like kind of facilitate school if you want to try to feel less guilty, I guess. But yeah, I think you're okay. I also wouldn't want to walk in the rain. I mean, I feel like that's not like an every day solution, but I mean, once in a while it doesn't hurt. He's late to serving customers because I won't say about that. That's fine. You don't have to share. We'll have to read it to find out. Yes, I'm okay with that. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this morning. I am going to cut it off here because I'm a little bit over my intended time, but I am feeling okay with that and I'm ready to get going on my day. So, thank you so much for joining me. I do not know if it's actually up on YouTube. I'm going to check once, but next Monday, I will be streaming with Autumn Ashley over on her channel. She did not put it live yet, so I won't be able to share it here today, but I'm going to be over on Autumn's channel Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will put it in my community tab once she has it posted so that hopefully you guys can join us then too. And yeah, for now, I hope you guys have a wonderful morning or afternoon or night, wherever you're coming in from. And thank you all for joining me once again. I'll see you next time. Bye.